Shobhit University, empowering nation through education.
Thank you very much. Very good morning to all the participants and our guest speaker. Shobhit Institute of Engineering and Technology, Meerut, a NAC accredited with A grade deemed to be university, and it's a Centers of Excellence, Center for Agricultural Informatics and E-Government Research Studies, and Center for Agribusiness and Disaster Management Studies. Extend greetings to all the participants from India and abroad who are attending today's national webinar. The topic is Smart Tribal Farming, Doubling Ginger Crop Yield Through Natural Farming Method in Araku Valley, Alluri, Seetharama Raju District, Andhra Pradesh. On behalf of Honorable Chancellor, Honorable Vice Chancellor, the faculty member of the university, and on my behalf, and as Professor Emeritus and Chairman of the 5 Centers of Excellence, Center for Agricultural Informatics and E-Government Research Studies, Center for Agribusiness and Disaster Management Studies, Center for Informatics Development Solutions and Application, and Center for Industry 4.0 Technology Studies and Application, and Center for Health Informatics and Computing. Welcome our guest speakers, Dr. Neeraja Pasupuleti, Madam, and Dr. Kiran Sakkhari. And I wish to inform the participants and the speaker that the university regularly conducts 2 webinar series, National Webinar Series and Doubling Farmers' Income by 2022 on every Thursday, and International Webinar Series on Open Source Digital Technology towards Self-Reliant India on every Saturday. And just 1 minute, I'll be back. Just 1 minute. I have been requested by the Indira Gandhi National Tribal University to give my address in their inaugural session, and I just now recorded 10 minutes back, and there was a call. I have to send the link, and and I'm back.
Hearty congratulations.
So far, this webinar series, the university has organized 112 webinars on the topic. Very important topic, which motivates the NGOs and youths to get into agri-tech startups on these topics. I may not be able to read all the 112 topics, but some topics, let me list it out. Role of agricultural cooperative societies and e-governance. Self-contained village, a felt need of the day. Spices Informatics Network Value Chain. Lantana Camera, a camouflaged treasure trove. This is available plenty in forest area. Smart Hill Agriculture, a digitalized hill agriculture value system. Smart Tribal Agriculture, optimizing value chain. Digital agri-tech and industry perspective. Sustainable soil and land management for climate smart agriculture. Agrobiodiversity, intellectual property laws, agriculture and farmers' welfare, and insight into the issues for Indian agrarian economy. Sustainable integration of livestock with agriculture for farm income increase. Role of geographical indications on improving farmers' income, lessons from Asia Pacific region. Dairy Informatics Network Value Chain. Nutrition sensitive agriculture, pathway for increasing farmers' income. Open insurance ecosystem for agricultural producers. Risk management solutions to overcome repercussions on farmers' income, markets, stability, and food safety. Rural transformation on farmers' income increase. Case studies from impoverished districts. BEEF models of revival of traditional water management systems to enable doubling of farmers. ICT intervention in agriculture challenges and opportunities. Model Village Development Program, a case study from Maharashtra. Market-driven agriculture. Farmers Collective with value addition, powerful business model for income increase for small and marginal farmers. Agriculture marketing in India, defects therein and remedial measures, if any. Organic spices cultivation for doubling of farmers' income in northeast region of India. Agriculture value chain challenges and opportunities. Mushroom cultivation, a way forwards to a way towards self-reliance from agriculture waste and providing nutritional food security to the nation. Subhas Palekar natural farming, future of farming rooted in tradition. Empowering rural farmers by creating value-added products and agri-entrepreneurs perspective. Harnessing opportunities in rainfed areas, pathway to prosperity. Agriculture resources information system and micro-level planning for enhancing farm health, key to achieving the doubling farmers' income by 2022. Development of livelihoods among tribals through Nature Science Foundation. Pay Agri, market linkage to farmers through digitalized agri-value chain. Jackfruit Informatics network value chain and ecosystem architecture. Doubling farmers' income, the brown revolution, sweet revolution. Digital health informatics network value chain in tribal villages. Case study from Palghar district, Maharashtra. Organic farming, key to doubling farmers' income. Smart tribal farming, empowering particularly vulnerable tribal groups, Chenchu tribe. Today is the 113th edition of the National Webinar Series, which will be addressed by Dr. Neeraja, Pasupuleti, and Dr. Kiran, Sakkhari. The very important topic, smart tribal farming, doubling ginger crop yield through natural farming method in Araku Valley, Alluri, Seetharama, Raju district, Andhra Pradesh. To develop any sector of economy, nation essentially needs four main synchronized interventions: enabling policy environment, state-of-the-art technology, financing mechanism, and entrepreneurship capacity. Farmers of India are facing multidimensional problems: price fluctuation, debt, lack of infrastructure, and weather. And the government of India also taken reforms through digitalization of agricultural systems. Volume 12B of Dr. Ashok Dalwai Committee report on doubling farmers' income by 2022, 2018 report talks about total digitalization of Indian agriculture system. It gives three categories: smart irrigated system, smart rainfed system, and smart tribal farming. And they have prioritized it. It means synergization of all government schemes at the village level. And this also talks about digitalized agromet advisories and agricultural risk management solutions, digitalized agricultural resources information system and micro-level planning for achieving smart village and smart farming, digitalized agriculture value chain for about 400 agriculture commodities, digitalized access to inputs, technology, knowledge, skill, agricultural finance, credit, marketing, and agribusiness management to farmers, digitalized integrated land and water management system, per drop, more crop, digitalized farm health management for reduction of farmers' loss. We have Atmanirbhar Bharat, the road ahead. This is a vision of our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi to make India a self-reliant nation, rested on 5 I's: intent, inclusion, investment, infrastructure, and innovation. And in the budget 2023-2024, it talked about Saptarishis, 7 priorities, talks about digital public infrastructure for agriculture. We need to have digital public infrastructure for agriculture, not only in the mainland of India, but also in the tribal area to promote tribal agriculture. And it also talks about to revolutionize this sector by encouraging agri-tech startups and natural farming. And this, since tribal agriculture is a sustainable agriculture and their value chain has to be globalized, we need to have a lot of agri-tech startups, at least one in every gram panchayat, and to adopt natural farming. 17 sustainable development goals and 169 targets to be achieved. This can be possible only through establishing informatics network value chain. And we put the seed in 1995 in the form of IT blueprint in agriculture sector, AgriSnet, AgMarkNet, SeedNet, HeartNet, Animal Production and Health Informatics Network, Fisheries Informatics Network, and so on and so forth. I was associated in establishing the IT blueprint for agriculture in 95. Way back in 1987, I was also closely associated with bringing in e-governance in 512 districts in those days by bringing in district information system. Pradhan Mantri, particularly vulnerable tribal groups, Development Mission 2023 brings in total change. To bring in holistic village development in this, particularly vulnerable tribal groups. And there are 75 particularly vulnerable tribal groups in India, with a budget outlay of 15,000 crores in the next 3 years under the Development Action Plan for the scheduled tribes on the basic facilities such as safe housing, clean drinking water and sanitation, improved access to education, health and nutrition, and road and telecom connectivity and sustainable livelihood opportunities. And in this connection, today's webinar is very important. Smart tribal farming. We need to have smart and collaborative agriculture. This is a way of the future. And agroecological and sustainable agriculture. Budget 2023 also talks about boost to natural farming. Eco-farming revolution is taking place. 7 basic principles of eco-farming: food sovereignty, rewarding rural livelihood, smarter food production and yields, biodiversity, sustainable soil, ecological pest protection, and food resilience. Regenerative agriculture and organic farming, they complement each other. Organic farming and permaculture complement with each other. And according to the article published in Agriculture World, Volume 8, Issue 8, August 2022, doubling ginger crop yields, broadbed method by one of the guest speakers, Dr. S. Kiran. In this article, he talks about VIKASA, is an NGO with which he works, is a 36 years young voluntary organization working for the development of farming communities. It has developed 3,000 acres in Araku Valley and Thubriguda Mandals with the financial support from NABARD under Tribal Development Fund projects. These lands were developed on low productive lands where farmers used to earn a paltry sum of rupees 5,000 to 8,000 per annum, but now earning anything between rupees 50,000 to 60,000 per annum. These lands have orchards, bananas in trenches, duck across the slope, and intercrops like vegetables. 2 farmer produce companies that were promoted by VIKASA in 2016 are now aggregating horticulture produce worth of rupees 3.1 crore in the 2021-22 season. The broadbed method of cultivation in ginger was taken as a part of Azim Premji Foundation supported project on the promotion of natural farming in 3 panchayat. Bread bed method of cultivation coupled with natural farming practice was found to be more suitable to this ecosystem and has an incremental yield potential of almost 2-fold increase compared to regular farmers' practice. VIKASA is encouraging farmers to adopt this method in other root crops like turmeric, groundnut, and carrot crops in a very big manner. VIKASA's intervention in tribal farming systems in doubling the tribal farmers' income, experiences, opportunities we will hear during the talk. VIKASA's intervention in tribal farming systems in doubling the tribal farmers' income, their experiences and opportunities. Strength of VIKASA is its competence in natural resource management with a focus on agriculture and horticulture-based intervention. to sustain and strengthen the livelihoods of farming community. This is directly linked with the doubling farmers' income by 2022 committee recommendation on digital technology in agriculture, digitalized agricultural resources information system, and micro-level planning for achieving smart village and smart farming. A smart way of farming the same crops on the same piece of land with slight agronomic modification coupled with ensuring the proper nutritional management resulted in doubling the ginger yields in the tribal areas of Alluri, Seetharama, Raju district of Andhra Pradesh. Let me repeat, a smart way of farming the same crops on the same piece of land with slight agronomic modifications coupled with ensuring the proper nutritional management resulted in doubling the ginger yields in the tribal areas of Alluri, Seetharama, Raju district of Andhra Pradesh. Araku Valley is a hill station in Alluri, Seetharama, Raju district in an Indian state of Andhra Pradesh, lying 111 kilometers west of Vishakaptinam. It is a valley in the eastern Ghats inhabited by different tribes, namely Araku tribes. Using their age-old cultivation practices, tribal people here grow various crops, mainly paddy, sweet potato, ragi, finger millets, and pulses, without chemical fertilizer, pesticides, or tractors. They uphold traditional organic farming using manure and plow the fields using cattle. Entire family have been in the fields from mid-June. Plowing and sowing turned the tribal area into a beehive of activity. In smaller groups, people take up farming on a large scale to a perfect rhythm, a grand spectacle for tourists who flock to the region. Araku brand coffee, owned by the Adivasi cooperative, has put the entire Araku Valley on the global map. Follow the best practices of regenerative agriculture. Araku showing the way in biodynamic farming, which preserves biodiversity and takes care of soil nutrition. Let us now turn to the address by Dr. Neeraja Pasupuleti and Dr. Kiran Sakkhari on a very important topic, smart tribal farming, doubling ginger crop yield through natural farming method in Araku Valley and Alluri Seetharama Raju district, Andhra Pradesh. Today's topic will motivate and galvanize the participants watching over telecast through facebook.com, Shobhit University India, or youtube.com, Shobhit University In, or linkedin.com, /company, /Shobhit University, or for establishing startups, physical plus digital infrastructure on smart tribal farming in association with VIKASA and Cluster University Kurnool, facilitating agriculture rural transformation in India's tribal villages in close collaboration with Shobhit Institute of Engineering and Technology deemed to be University, Meerut. Let us unlock the opportunities in India at the earliest. Let me introduce the guest speaker to the audience. First, let me introduce Madam Dr. Neeraja Pasupuleti. Dr. Neeraja Pasupuleti has, Mr. Manish, can you put the profile? Dr. Neeraja Pasupuleti has 11 years of teaching experience, and her areas of research include plant taxonomy, biosystematics, geobotany, ethnobotany, and phytochemistry. Her education qualification includes MSc, BG Diploma in Medical Botany, and PhD from Sri Venkateshwara University, Tirupati. Her important research publications include ethnography with a special reference to linguistic of vernacular names of angiospermic weeds growing in the vicinity of Chittoor district, Andhra Pradesh. Floristic studies to assess the biodiversity of angiospermic herbal weeds of Chittoor district, Andhra Pradesh, India. Taxonomy of angiospermic weeds of Chittoor district, Andhra Pradesh. In addition to this, Dr. Neeraja has also presented her research papers in various seminars and conferences. She is a life member of Society for Biotechnologists. Dr. Neeraja Pasupuleti has taken promotional steps to establish Center for Agricultural Informatics and E-Governance Research Studies at the Cluster University Kurnool in collaboration with the Shobhit Institute of Engineering and Technology deemed to be University Meerut. Let me also introduce Dr. Kiran Sakkhari. Mr. Manish, Dr. Kiran Sakkhari profile display kar dijiye. Dr. Kiran Sakkhari started his career in 1997 in Agri Input Sales Division of multinational company, later moved to work with ICRISAT to work on research paper project on PGNP in the tribal farming systems. After 3.5 years stint with the ICRISAT, he joined Deccan Development Society, a Hyderabad-based NGO, to further pursue similar interests on traditional farming systems. With this domain experience, Dr. Kiran registered for PhD in 2005 to work on biodiversity and livelihoods and tribal farmers in Andhra Pradesh in East Godavari district with particularly vulnerable tribal groups called Kodaraiti. Soon after completing PhD, he joined Vasan in 2010 to lead a research project on millets funded by IDRC Canada in Vishakaptinam district. Later assumed charge as a millet team leader of a rainfed area project revitalizing rainfed agriculture at Vasan to spread the learnings and take up the initiative in promoting millet production in 6 states through its partner organization. He identified a local millet cultivar and linked it to national level trials through All India Millet Coordinated Trials, which was released as a variety in due course of time. During this period, he worked with the policymakers and initiated 2 pilot projects to introduce millet in the supplementary nutrition programs such as Anganwadi in Srikakulam district of Andhra Pradesh state and in the social welfare schools in Malkankiri district of Orissa state. Dr. Kiran is currently serving as Executive Director of VIKASA, a 36 years young NGO based in Vishakaptinam, working with close to 6,000 farmers, both in tribal and non-tribal areas. He promoted 5 farmer produce companies, of which 2 are completely with the tribal farmers as the shareholders, which are doing a collective business turnover of rupees 3.5 crores by the end of financial year 2021-22. He authored 6 research articles and authored 3 book chapters and 1 textbook for BS Agriculture graduates.
Mama, net in the Sariga, net in the.
Dr. Kiran served as a member of State Nutrition Committee by the Department of Women and Child Development Study and strengthened the food models adopted by the department in Anganwadi, and currently nominated as a member of Andhra Pradesh State Agriculture Council and also on the Startup Committee Certified Coffee Board of India in connection with organizing the International Coffee Conference in the month of September 2023. With this, I would like to invite Dr. Neeraja Pasupuleti, Assistant Professor, Department of Botany, KVR Government College for Women, Cluster University Kurnool, to make a presentation. Over to Madam.
Thank you very much, sir, for giving me a wonderful opportunity. And it is my pleasure to present this talk on this topic. And before I start, let me salute the country. Vande Mataram. So the topic is very interesting. So slide.
Just 1 minute.
Yes. It's okay.
Manish?
Yes, I got it. So in India, 1,45,000 tribal.
Madam, can you go to the previous slide?
Okay, sir.
Just 1 minute. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, shall I make a move, sir?
Yeah, please.
Am I audible properly?
Yes, that's true.
Okay. So, as per the reports of Ministry of Tribal Affairs, 1,45,000 tribal villages are there in India, with 8.9% of the tribal population, and now 40 crore acres of cultivable land is available, and still the tribal people are reeling under poverty at the 45.3%. And in Andhra Pradesh, 2.2 crores of land, acres of land is available. 2.2 crore acres of cultivable land is available for in Andhra Pradesh. So 12, this is the list of the PVTGs, and as far as Araku Valley is concerned, there are local tribes as well as the PVTGs. So almost 5 local tribes are there. They are Kondadaras, Kotias, Bhatia, Valmiki, Nukodaras, and PVTGs Bondo Poroja and Parangi Poroja, Kond and Bodo Gadaba and Gutop Gadaba. These are the important PVTGs present living in the Araku Valley. So the Araku Valley is known for its delicious coffee and green countryside, rich tribal culture, and is blessed with dazzling river waterfalls, dense green forests, and sprawling coffee plantations with a beautiful climate. And this is Araku is located, as far as the geography of the Araku is concerned, Araku is located in the Eastern Ghats about 114 kilometers from the Vishakaptinam, close to the Odisha state border. So Anantagiri and Sunkanametta reserved forests, which are part of Araku Valley, are rich in biodiversity and are mined for bauxite. So Galikonda Hill, rising from height of 5,000 feet, is amongst the highest peak in Andhra Pradesh. The average rainfall is 1400 to 1700 millimeters, the bulk of which falls during June, October. The altitude is almost 1,500 above the sea level. This is the geography of the Araku. So geography plays very important role in the vegetation of any area. So before I enter into the topic, I want to make an observation that coffee was introduced in the Eastern Ghats of Andhra Pradesh in way back 1898 by the British rulers in Palmaleru Valley. Subsequently, it spread over to Araku Valley in the early 19th century. After the independence, the AP Forest Department developed the coffee plantation in this valley. In 1956, coffee board was appointed, and later, these plantations were handed over to AP Forest Development Corporation, and the GCC promoted Girijan Cooperative Plantation Development Corporation exclusively to develop the coffee plantation in the tribal area. So now we have this coffee geotagged Araku coffee we have, and this was the efforts of the British people way back in way back in the 18th century. That is 1898 they have started. Even now we got the independence, 75 years we have celebrated, but the fate of the Girijans, I mean tribal people, is I can't see any improvement in their lifestyle. And these are the people who live there. And this is the Remo woman. And the main identification feature is coming. I would like to, after highlighting this one, coffee is initiated by the British people. Now it has reached to the level of its own brand of Araku coffee. And another important factor is Araku is famous for the apiculture, and it has got its own brands of honey, its own flavors, and it is being produced commercially also. So this is the background. So coming to the lifestyle of the people, and I would like to give a brief anthropology about these two people, that is Gadaba and the Bond. They are also known as Remos. So what I observed is these people, they go for early marriages, and the main chief characteristic feature is this rings around, and these rings will be removed at the time of their death. This is their identification mask. And these Gadabas, there are three types: Bonda, Parangi, and Kon, Boda Gadapa, and Kutab Gadapa. These are the tribes that are present. And these Bonda, also known as Remos or Pujas, they are from the Munda ethnic group. Approximately, there are only 12,000 as per as 2011 census. And these Gadabas are 38,000 as per the census 2011. And these Bodo Gadabas and Kutab Gadabas, their main socio-economic life is based on farming and the daily labor. They are involved in what you call the shifting cultivation. They move. They are making permanent settlements in one area, but they make moves. They move from one place to one place, and they are not in one area. They do the farming, and next area they move to the some other areas. So they practice slash, burn, and plow cultivation. As a result, we can say they are indirectly damaging the environment also. So, and looking at the cultural part, these Gadapas, they are famous for their dance known as Dimsa dance, and they speak a language, special language known as Kutab. And as far as the action plan is concerned, so we have to think about the smart tribal agriculture and digital villages. Smart smart tribal agriculture, natural farming, floriculture, and the apiculture should be given top priorities. And coming to the digital villages, digitalized agricultural resources, informatics system, and micro level planning is necessary. Digitalized farm health management is also necessary. So for the digitalized farm health management, we have to depend on natural farming. And coming to the health management, these tribes, they are undernourished due to malnutrition. So because of their nature, they even they won't, they are not, because of their culture also, they won't take the nutritious food. We should take into consideration that one also. So, and the next one is this area. This area is famous for the indigenous rice varieties. That is Baya Honda, Sannadhanyam, and Iskaravalu. And these indigenous rice, they have resistance, less resistance, suitable for stress conditions also. So these three varieties are available in this area. And coming to the next part, that is the usage of the information and telecommunication technology for the development and empowerment of the communities. Economic development through value chain and supply chain should be taken into consideration. The model will work around the human resources at the village level as the individual, family, and the society, working out the linkages, identification of the right stakeholders, analysis of the services, working out the methodologies, and digital enablement or the digital connections at the right stakeholders is necessary. Necessary infrastructures in this should be developed. Infrastructure should be developed. And as far as our topic is concerned, so the ginger, so doubling ginger crop yield through natural farming. So before entering into this one, as a botanist, I would like to highlight one particular thing here. The ginger belong to the family Gingiberaceae. And at the same way, these three plants, that is turmeric, curcuma longa, and then cardamom, these are also belong to the same family. So as far as the botany is concerned, the same family members, the requirements are also same. That means their nutritional requirement and their ability for the survival and their the way of reproduction, almost all same in each family. So ginger is belongs to the family Gingiberaceae, and it is a flowering plant, herbaceous plant, and inflorescence bears of flowers having pale yellow color. And ginger is one of the first spices to be exported to Asia from our country. So this ginger is used as a medicine and as well dietary supplement. Same way, we can look into the aspects of the turmeric also. Turmeric also belong to the same family. So my suggestion here is the ginger, along with the ginger, turmeric cultivation can also be taken into consideration because both belong to the same family. And the turmeric now is very important and valuable in terms of the medicinal value, because this Meghalaya and the Northeast, they produce the turmeric. There also organic farming is being produced. But coming to the ginger, most of the global production of ginger is from India only, and it is followed by Nigeria, China, and Indonesia. In 2019, world production of ginger was 4.1, and India ranks 44% of the world total ginger production is from the India only. But it needs well-drained and loamy soils rich in humus for cultivation. The same condition is required for the turmeric also. In the Araku, here and there, in the forest areas and some areas, we can come across turmeric, special turmeric known as the black turmeric. So why I'm saying all this is the requirements for the ginger cultivation and the turmeric cultivation are same as far as the botanical aspects are concerned. Being it is another important thing is being an exhaustive crop. It is not advised to grow the ginger in the same field year after year. So we should go for the rotation. Crop rotation can be done with either paddy, rajma, finger millets, and also can be with a ginger banana legume and ginger vegetables and legumes, or we can change from ginger to turmeric also. So intermixed with annual crops or with the vegetables will yield a very good yield. So another important, as a soil microbiologist, I would like to highlight a point that for the yield, to get the good yield of a ginger, the phosphorus potassium requirements are very high, but nitrogen requirement is very low. So in that connection, so you must be very careful in going for the crop rotation also. To increase the ginger ale, you require a lot of organic manure. So at the most, you require 5 tons for the basic dose and neem up to 800 kilos per acre. And this is for the, as far as the tribal people are concerned, this amount of organic manure production is also very difficult. So natural farming is answer for the for developing getting the good yield. So in that connection, I have a suggestion here, because the organic farming you require the so far we are practicing the ginger production by this mulching with the lantana leaves and with nugundo leaves. So mulching is very important, and after that you will pour cow slurry over that. So here we want the phosphorus and the potassium. So instead of going for that, so for the slurry, cow dung slurry, you need the cows and all. So these people are very, reeling under the poverty, and they cannot offer that one. And in that area, I have a suggestion. That is Dr. Cho Han Q Natural Farming System from Genong Farming Institute, South Korea. So here what happens, they have 4 inputs they have given. IMO technology, indigenous microorganisms. This can be prepared with left out rice. And second one is BRV, the brown rice vinegar. And the third input will be WSPAG, that is soluble phosphoric acid. And the fourth input will be WSK, that is water soluble potassium. So with this Korean method, we can double the yield of the ginger instead of the traditional methods. Here, this is my suggestion. The Cho method.
Can you, in that one, the only IMO technology only slide is coming, other slides are not coming. Can you just display that? What the BRV, WSP, water soluble phosphoric acid? Okay. I think it's not coming. Okay. You can move on.
Some problem it seems, sir.
Okay,
So,
fine. Okay.
So IMO technology, BRV, VS, VA9 and VSK. These are the 4 inputs from Korean method, Korean natural farming. And coming to the next one is my area of interest. So I told you in the beginning, both these ginger and turmeric belong to the same family. We came across a special type of turmeric here that is known as black turmeric. Botanically, it is known as Curcuma caesea. And this is in the endangered list with high medicinal value. So this species has to be conserved in terms of biodiversity conservation. It has got a lot of relevance. These black turmeric, it's also just like a rhizomatous herb, just like the ginger, but it has got a bluish black rhizome, hence it is known as black turmeric. It belongs to the same family as the ginger belongs, Gingiberaceae, endangered species, and we can identify it very easily. It has got intense camphoraceous odor and bitter in taste, and its distribution is very vast, and it is distributed in different parts of India, China, Nepal, Malaysia, Thailand, and Indonesia. In India, it is indigenous to Northeast Hill region, and it also found in West Godavari, East Godavari, Papi Hills, Alluri, Seetharama, Raju, Araku districts, and Khammam district of Telangana, Madhya Pradesh. So this is the basic difference between the normal one and this is the black turmeric. So the rhizomes you cut across, you get a bluish black tinge. So this we can identify very easily with the odor also. And now black turmeric has got many medicinal uses. It has been used since ages, and it has got a lot of mention in the folklore medicine also. Used to treat leukoderma mainly, and it is used to treat the leukoderma and the piles. Paste is applied for the treatment of sprains. It's also used in treating cough, dysentery, cancer, and the recovery of the different wounds. The tribal women particularly use this for in the menstrual disorders. Traditionally used by the tribal people for the treatment of fever, vomiting, diarrhea, tremors, and inflammation. So, my suggestion here is because in Northeast we have this Meghalaya and all, they also cultivate this one, but their natural farming is a default. They won't apply any type of chemical fertilizers, but still they won't apply any type of organic manure also. So we get very poor quality of black turmeric from that area. So if we start cultivating this in this area with this Korean technology, Korean method of natural farming, we can do wonders. And next, coming to the indigenous rice varieties, Baya Honda, Sarnadanya, Dhanyam, and Isukaravalu. So these Isukaravalu, they are very scented. And these two varieties are known for disease resistance varieties, drought resistance, and pest resistant, and they are at the verge of extinction. So these 3 products, that is Boya Honda, Sarnadanyam, Isukaravalu, and the black pepper should be geotagged. So that's my appeal. With this, I would like to conclude my discussion. And one more thing before I conclude, I would like to tell what is the difference between the normal turmeric and this one is, this has got a petiole black marking, this one. This is the identification. As a botanist, I feel it is my duty to tell all the people how to identify the black by seeing at the leaf. So this one, this petiole, this midrib is dark in color, this one. This is the main identification feature of the black turmeric. Thank you very much for giving me this wonderful opportunity, and over to Professor Moni.
Thank you very much, madam. Thank you very much. It's a very important presentation. We made it, and it is eye-opening. And the way in which you presented last week, and in with respect to the Chenchu tribes, how to bring in natural farming, and also how we can bring in more than doubling farmers' income there. You have given an action plan, And here also you have given an action plan with respect to location specific, and also you put it that in an area of heavy rainfall, and you have given an action plan for empowerment, geotagging of almost all the area commodities which you talked about it. And he talked about indigenous rice and also black turmeric, and also how to take up crop rotation in along with natural farming, and many other suggestions. I think I am today, most of the project coordinators who are involved in smart tribal farming in pilot project of a cluster of 10 to 15 village will get to benefit out of today's talk. It's very important, including the NGOs who are associated with the Soviet Institute of Engineering and Technology with respect to operationalization of digital technology in agriculture. And your presentation is completely nation spread, international spread, and you have and I'm very happy to sit with you and moderate your talk, and an expert, a researcher, a scientist of high caliber. And in the process, you also said that you come from the discipline soil microbiologist. And in one of my introductory remark, I also talk about Araku Valley is going for biodynamic farming. And this is the country, the food production, the food security, and the increasing productivity, increasing income for the farmer is in the hands of soil microbiologists and the biodynamic farming. With this, I thank you. Please stay back, and I will request Dr. Kiran to speak, to address the national webinar series on doubling farmers' income by 2022 and beyond. Mr. Manish, can you put him? Okay, thank you very much. We welcome you, and over to you, Dr. Kiranji.
A very good morning, sir, and thank you all. Thank you very much for giving me such a wonderful opportunity to reach a wide range of audience, not only in India but across the world who are watching this webinar live. So, as the topic says, it's a smart tribal farming, doubling crop yields through natural farming with respect to ginger crop. As Professor Moni said in his introductory remarks, it's basically it's not just the same farmers, same piece of land, same set of activities, but a simple tweak in the agronomic practices that makes that's a smart way of doing the things. And I will just talk about this in my presentation now. So can I make it start the presentation?
Yeah, please. Yeah.
Yes. So the topic is doubling the ginger crop yields through natural farming method in Alluri, Seetharama, Raju district. So this slide.
Let me take a printout. Just go to the previous screen. Just 1 minute.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, please.
Thank you. Yeah. So as you said, VIKASA is a 36 years young organization. You can see that from this picture, you can see the topography of the Araku area. It's a hills, undulated plains, and a small small hillocks, and very undulated lands, slopey lands. So it is in this setting we are where we are working. So there are about 12 different tribes inhabiting in this location, of which 4 to 5 are the PVTGs, and around 6 tribal normal tribes are inhabiting this region. So VIKASA, right from the beginning, our focus is mostly on the natural resource-based livelihoods, especially that centers around agriculture and horticulture-based livelihoods. And women empowerment is inherently an activity. That goes without saying wherever we go. So this empowerment happens not just in the field, but also economically by initiating mutually aided cooperative societies. Wherever we go, work and start our work, we also simultaneously initiate these mutually aided cooperative thrift societies, so that farmers, they save and also they take the loans from with completely internal lending process. We don't take loans from any external source, but they just manage their way of resources. It provides para banking facilities right from the beginning. We have been beginning. Now the government has initiated Jan Dhan Yojana, and every person has a bank account. But even prior to that, even prior to initiating Jan Dhan Yojana, almost 20 years before that, we have been doing these para banking facilities right at the doorstep banking facilities. And then organic farming, it goes without saying. And as we are staunch believers in organic farming and natural farming, wherever we go, we initiate the process. All our activities centered around promoting organic agriculture, and market linkage are the recent addition to our cap. So in 2016, we started two farmer producer companies, but they started operating from 2018, because first 2 years, instead of directly jumping into the market, which we took a pause and learned how we can do business in this global setting. Then we started our own business activities. And apart from the agriculture, we also focus on the allied activities. Farmer is incomplete without the livestock and poultry. So we also believe in engaging farmer in these activities, and in promoting these livestock, backyard poultry, especially with the livestock local breeds. Then fisheries. Though it is a high rainfall area and rainfall system, its seasonal ponds are available, and farm based farm ponds are we have dug pond help the farmers take the farm ponds and take up the fish cultivation even in the farm ponds, so that the seasonal income is farmer can earn seasonal income. And the last, but not least, is education and healthcare. Though we don't overtly do it, but subtly we engage in different activities that takes care of the education and healthcare this region. Then, so our entire model is depends on the defeats model of Pentagon livelihood model. So the base of the Pentagon is human capital and the social capital. We capitalize on this social capital and human capital to build and tweak natural resources and develop a physical capital assets, which will ultimately result in the economic capital. That's how a farm in all the five capitals are taken care of, and farmer will be happy. A holistic development is can be achieved with this approach. That's what we believe in. And now, before I ready to jump into the topic, I would like to give some basic introduction about our activities. How we travel from these activities to the doubling the yields. So before that, I think it's prudent to mention all these activities, and which helped us to take smart steps in the tribal area. So this slide talks about a project called supported by NABARD. So it is under the NABARD Tribal Development Fund. NABARD has supported us across India. They promoted this Wadi project. The idea of the project is to have 1 acre of productive asset for the farmer in the tribal areas over a period of 7 years, right from the beginning, from pit digging to the entire full orchard development, so that a farmer will have a continuous productive asset on his own, and he can make a good living from using in the orchard. So VIKASA, I think we are the VIKASA tops the implementing this project in South India, across South India. We have implemented this project over 3,000 acres with 3,000 farmers. So the incomes of these farmers, which they used to earn from the same piece of land from undulated lands and degraded plains and all. So they used to earn only 4,000 to 5,000 rupees earlier. Now they are getting a season 40,000 to 50,000 rupees income per annum. It's not just one go. It's a season. It's spread across all through the year. Some they get in the weekly along the trenches. They go. They went for the banana cultivation. So it gives a weekly income by selling the banana hands in the shandies. They get the weekly income. They get seasonal income. They get poultry. From the poultry, they also get occasional income. And along the borders, they take up the hill brooms. That's annual income. And the entire crop orchard is covered with live fence. They get a biannual income, and on the border they take up the tea cultivation. That's a long-term bet. So that's how the income is spread across over a period of time. and farmers are getting good income from these lands. So as I said earlier, the backyard poultry and fish was also encouraged in tribal areas. So almost 1,000 farmers were supported in initiating the backyard poultry with the local breeds, and then around 200 farmers were supported with the fish farming by supplying the spawn. And this is one of the core areas that we also work on, the conservation of the local varieties. So some of the local
Kiran,
varieties.
Mr.
Sir,
Kiran, please
sir.
don't rush. Please don't rush. You have got a lot of information to communicate to the people. Don't rush it. Please speak. Take some time for each screen. Okay, go to the previous one. Let them also understand, because you've done a lot of developmental work. Because a lot of people who are involved in this project, they are all watching. So
Sure.
please don't rush through that. Okay,
Sure.
please.
Sure.
Thank you.
So this slide talks about the other allied activities that we touched upon, like promoting the backyard poultry using the local breeds. Around 1,000 farmers were encouraged to take up this activity, and they're getting income by selling the local breeds. Nowadays, the local breed of Natukodi, called in local breed of chick, is very famous, and it fetches better income to the farmers. And also around 200 farmers were supported by providing spawn to grow the fish on their farm. And this slide is about the conservation of the local varieties. In the Araku is a tribal area where in the low-lying areas and in the stream beds, farmers grow paddy varieties. And it has been we are close to Orissa. Orissa is a center of origin for rice, and we are close to Orissa. Even in our area also, there are so many. Earlier, there were so many varieties, local varieties. We found around 10 names, but we are still trying to get all the seed of the local varieties. So far, we identified 3 varieties where we also got the seed. And one is the Hon'ble, and the second one is the Sanadanyam. These 2 are normal paddy varieties. The third one is Isukarabalu. That is a scented variety. It mimics Basmati in almost all the characters except the size and the slenderness. So this Isukarabalu is a very short variety with a short and thick variety, whereas Basmati is a long, slender variety. Except that all the flavor is same. So it is becoming a very sought after variety, especially in the Vishakaptinam area. We were trying to promote marketing of this variety, local variety. So what we did was we taken up the pure line multiplication of the Isukarabalu variety, local variety, from 2 farmers. We in the last 2 seasons, this has gone up to 29 farmers in the previous Kharif. So this Kharif we are planning to take up to almost 50 farmers. So that's how we are trying to encourage the farmers to take up this local variety cultivation and also connect it to the market. So the farmers are getting good income, assured income, as variety is getting conserved, and the consumer are also happy with the naturally produced Basmati variety, a scented variety. And apart from that, there is another introduction. We found the black turmeric. 5 years back, we got only 2 kgs of black turmeric. So we started multiplying this black turmeric, and so till date we have almost reached. We could produce 3 metric tons of the black turmeric, but we are still in the process of getting the proper market for the produce. We need to get the curcumin content and all the chemical analysis get done. We have planned to go for the chemical analysis, and also to connect it to the market. We are exploring the market for this variety. And the ginger is also, we have both the ginger local variety as well as the improved varieties. And local varieties has more amount of fiber. So that is some slight disadvantage when it go for the dehydration and all. But the flavor is very excellent flavor. Other qualities are good for the local variety. So thus, with all these activities, we are touching upon almost 8 of the 16 sustainable development goals. So whatever we are trying to do, the local solutions are providing global, addressing the global issues. So this is called global. we are with the local solutions. We are trying to address the global issues, and we are happy to touch upon almost 8 of the sustainable development goals. So when I say natural farming, there are 6 important aspects that we need to take care of. So this I have listed out all the 6 points here. One is the first and foremost is the living soil. If you're talking about the natural and organic farming, soil has to be live, and soil has to encourage, promote, and it has a lot of microflora. It has to, the soil has more organic carbon content. So then only we can go for we can make it get almost equal yields compared to the chemical yields. So when you say whatever you say, at the end of the season, if the farmer is not getting income, then we are not in the fray in the game. So we also need to take care of the other aspects like living soil and diverse crops. So as you have seen in the earlier picture, we don't go for a monocrop. So we encourage the farmer to take a diverse, within 1 acre of land in the Wadi plant. You have seen a number of crops, the annual crops, biennial crops, perennial crops, and seasonal crops. So it's a mix of all these crops. So the farmers' incomes are spread across the different crops. The risk is also spread across the different crops. Even if one fails, other takes care of the income. So that's how we try to reduce the risk and also improve ensure the livelihoods of the tribal farmers. Then other important aspects is plant and soil nutrient management. So this we are trying to achieve through biostimulants by producing biostimulants such as the Ghana and Drava Geomotam. As Subhash Palekar has suggested, we are going to encourage the farmers to take up the production of the preparation of biostimulants at the farmer level, so that the farmer can apply these to the crops, various crops and fields, and to get a better results and better yields from the different crops. And the locally adaptive seed, this is a very, very important aspect. So though if you introduce whatever you introduce, it has to be locally adaptable. Otherwise, the performance will not be good. So while we are trying to introduce improved varieties and better varieties, we also keep in our mind that there are some local varieties such as the Iskaravalu, Bayahonda, and Sanadanyam, which can be improved. So the idea is to, if you take the purely multiplication of the seed, we can get the pure seed, because it got mixed up for so many years. It got mixed up with the other varieties. So we need to take up the purely multiplication of the seed. Then only we can take up the further improvement in those varieties. This is a very important, crucial aspect I would like to propose for as part of smart farming in the days to come. And the other aspect is the pest management. Nowadays in the even tribal areas, because of the cool climate, farmers go for the vegetable crops. So vegetables, when you talk about vegetables, is most of the farmers now what they're getting in what the seed they're getting is a hybrid seed. Along with the hybrid seed, they also take up the pesticide consumption. So when they take up pesticide, especially with crops like cabbage, cauliflower, and brinjal, so the farmers also started spraying chemical dangerous sprays. So in order to address this issue, as part of the natural farming project supported by Ajin Premji Foundation, we had taken a production multiplication of the biocontrol agents like Bavaria, Metarhizium, Trichoderma viridi, Pseudomonas. So all these we are getting the mother culture from the Regional Agriculture Research Station, Anakapalli, and which is a regional station for All India Coordinated Research project for the biocontrol as part of the NBAIR Bengaluru. So Anakapalli it maintains all the mother cultures. We are trying to get the mother cultures from them and multiplying. We have set up a lab. I'll show you the picture in the coming slide. And the last aspect is integrating the animals into the farming. Without animal, farming is impossible. Farmer is the backbone of India, and animal is the backbone of farmer. So if you remove the animals from the farming, so almost this natural farming is not possible. So these 6 aspects are very much important in promoting the natural farming. Then, as part of the building the soil, we have taken up activities like promoting Navadanya. So it's a concept which was earlier promoted by Deepak Sachdev as part of Natrico farming some 25 years ago. So Deepak Sachdev's slogan is 10 kunta farming. 40 kuntas make 1 acre. So what he says is a 10 kunta is enough to cater all the food consumptive needs of a family of 5 members. So from 10 kunta, he has developed a model called Natrico farming. So as part of the Natrico farming, he encouraged farmers to go for Navadanya cultivation. Navadanya is not a new concept. It has been in vogue for so many centuries. So what it says is a mix of green manure crops, legumes, oil seeds, condiments, and cereals. We mix them around 20 to 12 kgs of all these seeds. We broadcast in the field as soon as the monsoon is received and after the field is prepared. So the idea why we are promoting a mix of crops is all the different crops have different root zones. So they work at different root zones and different rooting characteristics. So it enhances all this. It will improve the soil aeration. In the soil aeration, it improves the water holding capacity. Organic compound content of the soil is improved. So once the crop attains 40 to 45 days, is almost 50% of the flowering is, we allow the cattle to slightly graze on the Navadanya, then incorporate into the soil. So this slide talks about, shows you the pictures of the Navadanya. You can see on the left-hand side, far left-hand side, you can see the luxurious growth within 45 days. So it's not because one crop, it's a mix of almost all 6 to 7 varieties of crops. Spices, condiments, legumes, cereals. So all these crops, they grown together. They are broadcast on the field, they grown together. So it's a heavily densely grown. So if you remove the seed plant, so you see the root growth and also the earthworms. We can find earthworms alive, which is you can see in the fields. So once it attains the 45 days, is on the far right hand side, you can see a farmer is incorporating, puddling this plants into the field. Then he can take up the paddy cultivation. If this is promoted in a large way in the tribal areas, so it takes care of the nutritional aspect, because when we say paddy farming, when we say green manure and all, everyone suggests, even the university also suggests, go for 10 to 12 tons of manure. So instead of bringing and making 10 tons of manure within 45 days, by just throwing 15 kg of seeds, we can build this much of mass. 15 tons of biomass is produced within 45 days, and that can be incorporated in the soil, which takes care of the soil physical and chemical properties in the long way. So this is a smart way of promoting manure. Instead of 10 tons or 20 tons manure, in 10 kilos of seed takes care of this 10 tons of manure. So this is a smart way of promoting, encouraging the nutritious soil, physical and chemical properties. And another important aspect is, most of the tribal areas, the cattle sheds are unhygienic. So as part of this Wadi project also, we have taken up this constructing the cattle sheds, cementing the floor of the cattle sheds. So while doing so, we also carefully did that. Slope is maintained, and the urine is collected in the pit. On the right hand side, you can see here a pit is constructed and outside the cattle shed. When all the urine that is passed in the cattle shed gets collected, so it is easy for the farmer. A farmer need not wait for the urine to animal to pass the urine and collect. So it gets collected in the pit. So farmer can, whenever there is a time, farmer can take the urine from the pit and mix it with the dung, and he can prepare the jivamutam. So this is a better way of collecting the cattle urine. So the reason why we are encouraging the farmers to go for the jivamutam is it's very low cost. Almost all the resources are locally available except the jaggery. So because jaggery is required to encourage the fermentation process, hasten up the fermentation process, and also add iron and protein to the in the fermentation process. So, except jaggery, but almost all other resources are locally available, and farmers can easily take up this production at the farmer level. And it not only ensures an NPK, but also other micronutrients and macronutrients are also available in the Jivamritam. So there are so much of literacy available on the net about the available nutritional status of the Ghana Jivamritam, Drava Jivamritam. So anybody who is interested in promoting it, they can browse through the internet and then they can get volumes of information about this Ghana and Drava Jivamritam. So what we generally do is we encourage farmers to take apply 3 rounds of Drava Jivamritam, like at 200 liters per acre, which takes care of the nutritional requirements of the crop as well as the soil. This slide is, as I said earlier, as part of the smart farming, we are also introduced the biocontrol agents like Bavaria, Metarrhizum, Trichoderma viridi, Bacillus, and Pseudomonas. So all these 5 and trichocords also we are producing trichocords also. So our staff were trained by the scientists in the Anakapalli Agriculture Research Station. So which is the All India Coordinated Research Project, the Biocontrol Lab, as part of the National Bureau of Agriculture and Insect Resources, Bangalore. So they have trained our staff. They are now there. We are getting the mother cultures from the Anakapalli Agriculture Research Station and multiplying them to reach more number of farmers. So until last year, we prepared the powder-based formulations. Now, in order to reach more number of farmers to reduce the time in the multiplication, from this year onwards, we are going for the liquid formulations. So far, we are doing this as part of the project. We are giving it free to the farmers. We are not charging anything because Ajib Premji Foundation has supported us in setting up this lab in promoting the natural farming process. So, as you said, again, farmers, as I said earlier, in the defeat mode of Pentagon, our model banks on the natural resources and human capital and social capital. So, this human capital involves trainings in building their knowledge base. So, when a farmer is suggested to go for the Jivamritam, it's not just a prescription. He has to develop, he has to prepare it and understand why he is preparing and when he is applying, why he is applying. So this question, this issue of why is very much important. It has to be inculcated among the tribal farmers, not only tribal farmers, even with any other farmer. If he knows why he has to do this, then there is a better chance of continuing this process even after the project is withdrawn or project is completed. So we encourage the farmers to take up the pest monitoring. In the second picture, see a farmer is monitoring the pest, how many moths are collected in the pest, the pheromone trap. So this is a hand-holding support. We encourage the farmers to do this kind of activities on their own, so that they'll continue over a period of time, even the project is completed. And they themselves prepare the concoctions, and they are also trained in identifying the egg mosses from the field. So, see, when you want to control the pest, it's very important to know at what stage you need to control manage the pest. So it's not when you see the pest in the fully grown pest, it's very difficult because it has grown haze on its body. Whatever you spray, even the chemicals that you spray will not reach the body. So we need to understand what is the pest cycle, at what stage of the pest we need to take up the right approach, right method of pest management. This is what we also do with the farmers. So these are they produce their menus and all. This is a slide. And with all this background, we came to
this slide. Let the people also see that. Don't rush through.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah, please.
So, I mean, the menu
please,
that.
Please explain.
Yeah, the menu that they're prepared is inoculated with trichoderma. So trichoderma is a soil. I mean, it takes care of the soil-borne diseases. So because especially in the with the crops like root crops like rhizome, like ginger, turmeric, and potato. So I mean carrot. No. So when a root rot is caused by pathogens, trichoderma affects on the kills the pathogens and helps saves the crop from the root rot issues. So they prepare they inoculate the manure with the trichoderma viride and then apply in the field. So with this background, we have taken up the Better Crop Initiative. So this Better Crop Initiative is it's a smart way of farming. It's not the same farmers, same land, same crops, but with a small tweak in the agronomics issues. That is smart way of farming. So we started this Better Crop Initiative with the Guli method. I will talk about it later because this today's topic is about the ginger. Now I'll finish with ginger. Then I will just slightly touch upon even the other crop like finger Guli method also. So ginger is cultivated by tribal farmers in almost all the tribal farmers. They cultivate ginger because it's a commercial crop. So they don't farmers in our area, they within their purview, within their land holding of 2 to 5 acres, they grow a variety of crops. It's not that all the 5 acres they grow in one crop or one or two crops. They grow a variety of crops. So as part of this, some they go for the consumption like finger millet and little millet. Some they go for the commercial crops like ginger and turmeric. They sell in the market. They get money. So farmers don't grow on a large extent this commercial crop. At the most they go for the half acre. But in very rarest of the rare cases, they go up to 1 acre. So that's a very rare case. So what they do is they take up they sow around almost 1 ton of they take seed is used for the planting in the ginger. In all our operational areas, we found that around 800 to 900 acres of ginger is being cultivated with an average production of 5 to 7 metric tons per acre. Units I'm talking about is per acre only, because different farmers grow in different proportions. I have equalized the unit per acre. So the per acre seed requirement is 1 ton, and the returns are 5 to 7 metric tons per acre. So the rhizomes are planted in the month of April, immediately after the summer showers. In our area, in the tribal areas of Araku, we receive the rains from the second fortnight of the April. So from there, they take up the land preparation, then they take up the cultivation of the crops. So most of these lands that farmers have, they have undulated slopes and slopy lands, undulated. So this makes the crop more vulnerable for the waterlogging, because as I said, as Dr. Neeraja ma'am also said, it is a high rainfall area. We receive rains between 400 to somewhere between 400 to 700 millimeters in a year, and a heavy splash of rains, or sometimes we get within a week, 10 days of time. So during those times, because of the undulated areas and slopiness of the lands, so most of the lands get inundated in the water. So for crops like ragi and rice, it's not an issue. But whereas the crops like finger millet, carrot, then turmeric, ginger, these are the root crops. So if they get inundated in the water, they get spoiled, they get rotten up. Even the spread of the disease is also very fast because the root rot incidence happens, and it spreads a lot into the entire field. So this is a common problem in our area. So even the proper nutritional requirement is also not properly met by the farmers. At the most, some of the farmers, what they do is they apply one bag or 2 bags of DAP. Because it is a commercial crop, they started applying DAP to the crops like ginger and turmeric. So, but this is not enough. The nutritional requirement is not properly met. So these are the issues. So when we saw these issues, we thought we should take up this in a smart way. So what we did was, instead of farmers taking the single lines, we encourage the farmers to go for the beds, raised beds. broad beds. So a raised bed is of around 2 to 2.5 feet is made with a interspaced with a 20 to 30 centimeters of furrow. So a bed and a furrow method is a broad bed and a furrow method. So 2.5 feet broad bed and 20 to 30 centimeters of furrow to allow the passage of the water and allow the drainage of the water. So with lot of initially it took some time for us to convince the farmers, because their regular practice is to go for one line, and without, they think if they leave 130 meters of 1 foot of furrow, it's wastage of space. But later they learned it's not a waste, it's in fact is a better way of smart way of farming. So we took up 8 demonstrations with 8 farmers, and the seed treatment was done with trichoderma and bisamuthum. Then all the demos, we encourage the farmers, in all the demos we encourage the farmers to take up proper nutritional requirement, like applying 600 liters of Dravajiomuthum in 3 spells, in 3 splits. So all these drainage channels, the furrows, they help the farm, help them in draining their excess water from the field. So water stagnation was not there in the field. When there is no water stagnation, it helped the farm, and also with proper nutritional supplementation, the rhizomes also, I mean, the growth of the rhizomes were very good. In some, I think I put the picture also. In some of the areas, the rhizomes, the growth of the rhizomes was almost 2.5 to 3 kilos per hill. So that is the kind of the robustness that they have observed in these demo plots. So with all these demo plots, and we did the crop cutting experiments also in all the 8 plots, where we invited not only the owners but also from the farmers from the neighboring villages and the same villages. Around 300 to 400 farmers, they visited these crop cutting experiments. When they pull the plants with rhizome, they've seen the rhizome, the growth of the rhizome, and they were amazed to see such a growth and the girth of the and strength of the plant and rhizomes and also the yield. So this slide talks about the 5 important stages of the broad bed method, raised bed method of the ginger. The first slide is bed preparation, and the second slide is the planting at 1 foot distance and leaving a furrow. And third stage is mulching after the plantation. And the fourth picture, you can see water draining out of the field. And the fifth picture, you can see the luxuriously grown ginger on the raised beds. So this is the same field. The photos was taken at different points of time, almost 25 to 30 days of from the same point. The documentation, right? We thought, apart from the doing demo, we also need to proper documentation. So what we did was a picture was taken from the same place, in the same field at different points of time. So in the first, you can see the first picture on the top left hand corner, a mulch raised bed, around almost 1.5 months is planned. And second, you can see the water draining out of the furrows. So there's no water stagnation in the field. And third, you can see luxurious growth. And fourth, we can see the exposure visits that we organized to the field. So in all the 8 demos, we organized around 8 to 10 exposure visits, inviting farmers from different villages, not only from our own location, even the farmers from the other NGOs also visited these plots, and they also took up this last year, this raised bed method. And this particular slide, you can see compared to like in the upper slide, upper picture is the farmer's practice. There is no regional furrow. If there is a water stagnation, it gets inundated. The crop gets inundated. But in the picture in the below, you can see 2 lines with a furrow. So even if there is a heavy rain, water gets drained out of the field. This is also about like a picture taken from the farmer's practice and also the demo plot. So with this, we could achieve almost double. And from the 5 to farmer, in the farmer's practice, the yield was about 5 to 7 tons, whereas in the demo plots it's around 11 to 12 tons. So almost doubling the yield without changing the practice. I mean, without changing the soil, without changing the seed, just by tweaking the agronomic method. Instead of going single row flat bed, we went for the raised bed method, 2 rows. In fact, this year we are also planning to go for 3 rows. So all we have planted this season, we have recently planted 3 rows on the raised bed, and we are going to experiment the 3 rows also this year. And this is another important better crop initiative with respect to finger millet. So this is a gully method. In fact, all our experience started with this gully method. Then we went to the ginger crop. So ginger was second crop. So this particular slide is about the gully method. Gully is a method of cultivation. It is a traditional method of cultivation we adapted from the Karnataka. So for farmers in the rainfed zone of Karnataka, it's a traditional age-old practice. So what they do is instead of broadcasting, what they do is they go for the wider spacing of 1.5 foot. This makes early. They have to go for a very early transplantation. Some generally in the tribal areas, what they do is they go for transplantation at 30, even after 30, 40 days also. But this is not suggested in this method. In case of gully method, the first and foremost important aspect is they have to take up the transplantation at very early stage, because when you remove the plant from the nursery and transplant it, plant is subject to transplanting shock. So the earlier they do it, the plant gets adjusted to the circumstances, and growth is much better. So that's the reason why you encourage the farmer to this method. Stresses on the early transplantation. And the second is wider spacing. Instead of growing closely, it insists farmers to go for at least 1.5 feet distance. And third important aspect is you need to apply pressure, induce the pressure at the root and shoot tip. Between the root and shoot junction, if you apply pressure at around 45 days of transplanting, and immediately applying the Dravajivamatam, it produces profuse tillering. So the first step is induce the pressure at the root and shoot zone, then apply the proper nutrition in the form of Dravajivamatam. So when they produce profuse tillering, it needs a lot of nutritional requirement. That nutritional requirement is met through applying the Dravajivamatam. 600 liters of Dravajivamatam in three splits. So 200 liters each per acre. So this takes care of the nutritional requirement of the crop. And now you can see the luxurious growth. I mean, nowhere, I don't think many of the for many of the ragi farmers, this is a very rare sight. The number of tillers. So generally they get around 10 to 12. But in case of gully method, the tiller number, it goes up to 45 to 50. Not only the tillers, even the productive tillers also. The percentage of productive tillers also is very high in case of gully method, because we are providing proper nutrition by applying the Dravajivamatam. See, the conventionally our yields are 4 quintals per acre in the tribal areas with the gully method, in the normal method of finger millet cultivation. Whereas in case of a gully method, it's minimum 10 quintals. That's the minimum we are talking about. So without changing any seed, without changing any other practice, in fact, by reducing the cost, by reducing the seed rate, we are achieving almost more than double the yields. This is a smart way of farming. So this particular farmer, we took up a demonstration in 2017 with this farmer. His name is Tangula Jinnu. Even today, his record holds good. He reaped 21.6 quintals per acre. This crop cutting experiment was witnessed by local agriculture officer also. So he was awarded by the Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh in 2017 in the Agritech. So he shared the dais with the Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, and he shared the experiences of cultivating guli method, and in this, even now he is the champion, and he is a source of inspiration for many of the tribal farmers, because in not only in tribal areas, for any farmers, seeing is believing. And many of the farmers passing through his field, they said, we want this seed. But in fact, the seed is not different. It is the same seed, their own seed, but a method is different. But simply by making a small change in the agronomic practice, he reaped such a bountiful harvest. So if you look at, we did a small study in 2021, what is the impact of guli. So the yields increased from 4 quintals to 10 quintals. It enhances the food and nutritional security of the farmers, because it's a high. This millet is very rich in calcium. Almost 340 milligrams of calcium is available in ragi, in finger millet. So there's no other crop which can give that much of calcium, except especially in the annual crops. You don't get such a high quantity of calcium. So in 6 years, from 2000 to 2016 to 2021, 5 years, around 1,300 metric tons of additional production has happened from the same fields, and it's worth of 3.6 crores. So without changing any seed, without bringing any new input, without increasing the cost of cultivation, this much of production, this much of income has generated, and 1,300 metric tons of additional ragi has been produced from the same field. So that is the potential of this method. So this can be taken up in almost all the rainfed areas. Wherever finger millet is grown, this can be taken up, sir. This is one of the best method I have ever seen in my life. So with this, I will just touch upon what needs to be done to scale up the natural farming in the tribal areas. So I will, in the following slides, we'll talk about what needs to be done. So far, we shared what has been done in our area to our intervention. But now I'll also, while talking about what we are doing and what also needs to be done to improve the productivity and enhance and increase the livelihoods of the tribal areas, especially with reference to rain-fed situations. So when you talk about the smart farming, we identified 6 areas. One is integrated production systems. So it's not just single crop. We need to go for a variety of crops. And risk has to be spread because it is a rain-fed area. People are very small with a limited access to land. So his risk, we cannot put him into risk. His risk has to be spread. Even if one crop fails, other has to come forward. Not only the crops, but even the systems. Integrated system talks about not only the crops, but also livestock, backyard poultry, and fisheries. Wherever there is a possibility, fisheries, we can encourage the fisheries. And second important aspect, the life-saving irrigation. So irrigation, it's very important for the crop growth. Generally, for any crop, there are some 2 or 3 critical stages of irrigation. If you can provide critical irrigation in that particular time, so you can be assured of a very good returns. So that is another important aspect that we need to focus on. And third is better agronomy. Like, for example, I will also show you in the coming slides. I will show for each aspect. I will show you our interventions, and then value addition. And fifth one is market, and last and least is the credit services. Then I will go one by one now. So you can see this picture, this production system. As part of WADI, as part of NABARD supported project, we have done this project with the tribal farmer. You can see there are excellent opportunities in tribal areas to promote. Even now, there are plenty of opportunities to encourage this kind of activities. It's 1 acre of land. If you can see orchard, intercrops, a goat shed, fish pond, chick shed. A mix of all these varieties. In fact, this is a 2-acre farm. Farmer and his son, both of them, they club together and they're doing it. So this particular farmer, Narayana, is reaping at least 6 lakh rupees from these 2 acres. So almost 3 lakh rupees per acre. So such a wonderful work he's been doing. So there are plenty of opportunities in the tribal areas to promote such kind of integrated production systems. We can integrate crops, annual crops, biennial or perennial crops, and poultry, fish on the small pond, and even you can goat also you can add. That is also very remunerative. So this is the integrated production system that have very good potential in the tribal areas. And this particular side talks about the ROF. As part of the ROFR, farmers were given the patas, but most of them are hill slopes and all. So with the help of a donor, what we did was we took up the stone bunding across the slope. We can see the farmers working. They're constructing the stone. They're putting the stone bunds across the slope. The idea is we want, in Araku, the coffee is very famous. So we want to go. We have identified almost 100 such plots. We worked on stone bunding with meager support. Like for example, 6,000 rupees per acre we have supported with the help of a donor. But in fact, if you monetize the quantum of work that they have put, labor that they have put, it's more than 36,000 rupees per acre they have invested, apart from the 6,000 rupees. So by doing so, what they did was they have constructed the stone bunds across the slope. So this helps this is a long-term bet. So this arrests the topsoil erosion. This helps in increasing the water holding capacity of the soil, and also slowly they can take up the plantation crops in these areas. Because these areas are not amenable for the annual crops, they can go for the plantation crops like coffee and other crops. Even the orchards also they can go for in these areas. So this is about, as I said, critical irrigation. So this slide, you can see cattle in the rings, and this slide was taken in the month of March. So in the tribal areas, most of the tribal areas are rain-fed areas. Almost 75 to 80% of the tribal areas, especially in our area, rain-fed areas. Only 10 to 15% is the stream bed. Only very few farmers, they have the access to stream beds where they take up the paddy cultivation in those areas. So once the kharif crop is cultivated, lands are kept fallow. Wherever there is a possibility, they go for the pulse crop or oilseed crop like Niger. But they can't go for a Niger crop almost on all the extent. So you can see 70% of the lands are vacant in the second season. So it not only puts them in vulnerability, even the cattle is also at vulnerable state because they don't find proper fodder. They have to travel a lot in the forest areas, to common areas for the grazing. So because of this reason, some of the farmers are now selling the cattle. So if you sell the cattle, there's no possibility of encouraging the natural farming. So what we need to do is if there is any possibility, we need to we need to initiate the steps to provide life-saving irrigation in these areas. For that, what we did was gravity-based irrigation method. So, in most of the tribal areas, natural streams are available on the hillocks. So from these streams, water flow, but water flows besides the village without the farmers, but at a very low stage. Either water is at the hilltop or at a very low lying area. They have to either pump up, or they have to draw from the hill slope. So what we did was we had taken up a gravity-based irrigation network system. So it's like a overhead tank is constructed at the top, and water is drawn almost to a distance of 2.5 to 3 kilometers. And pipe network is pipe is laid. A network of 60 to 70 acres is connected together, so that farmers get assured irrigation. If you see the last slide on the left-hand corner, farmers are getting outlets. The water they're getting to their own fields. Just by opening the wall, they get the water. So what we did, we did this gravity method in two villages. So in each village, around 60 to 70 acres is catered, is the address. The irrigation needs are addressed. So what we did was we worked with the farmers. Farmers were grouped. They from the source is around 200 to 2.5 to 3 kilometers away. A check dam is constructed so that water, only 10% of the excess water that is drawn to these fields. We are not disturbing the natural course of water, but only taking the advantage of gravity, we are drawing only 10% of the water to these fields. So with this 10% of the water, around almost 100 to 120 acres of the acres is getting additional income. They're going for the second and third crops. So this is the first year they went for the second crop. I'll show you the picture in the next slide. So this picture was taken up in the March end. So earlier picture, before the gravity system was introduced, there were no crops completely. In fact, even the cattle were also searching for the fodder, but you can see the lush green crops in those areas. So not only it takes care of the income and livelihood aspects of the farmers, even the food security, the fodder security for the cattle is also assured if you take up this kind of gravity-based irrigation network systems. This system basically involves investment at the beginning for laying the pipes, but once the pipe is laid, it's zero cost maintenance is required. So they don't need any power to run the show. So just by opening the wall, they'll get the water. So even for using the water also, farmers are grouped into five to six different groups. So it's not that every farmer will get the water to his field every day. It's not required. So what we suggested is Monday, some farmers they get the water. Tuesday, some farmers will get. So if you set dates, again there will be clash. If you put divide the farmers into groups, 6 to 7 groups, and each day these farmers will get the water. So it's fixed. So there won't be any clashes. So to the extent possible, there won't be any clashes. Even if there are clashes, there is a committee at the village level that will address the issues. So this is how we are trying to address the irrigation, critical irrigation. And in if you go for the paddy, it's less crop per drop, but it should not be the day. What we need is a less drop per the crop. So by using critical irrigation, we can go for the better crops. So and this slide talks about some disturbed or damaged structures like check dams and all. There are many check dams constructed in the tribal areas across India, but properly they are not maintained. So if they are properly maintained, some care is taken, that also improves the water holding capacity of the area. And the third important aspect is agronomy, better agronomy. As I said earlier, gully method and ginger, there are only slight tweak in the agronomy. Just by growing the ginger on the raised bed, farmers are getting double the income without losing the crop. And by growing the finger millet in the wider spacing at early transplanting and putting the pressure on the root and shoot junction and applying Jivamrutam, they are getting double the yield. So another initiative was the line sowing in the paddy cultivation. Excuse me. This line sowing we promoted in 2021. So with we started with 3 demos. So far by 2 years, we could reach almost 127 farmers adopted it, this method. So this line, the advantage of going for line sowing is they can reduce the seed rate and they can drastically reduce the weeding cost. See, if they go for the broadcasting or transplanting without using any lines, they cannot run the conovidus. So conovidus, by introducing conovidus, that weeding cost was almost reduced by 70%. Instead of 10 farmers doing weeding, going for the weeding for 2 days, just 2 farmers, women farmers, they go for weeding within 2 hours in an acre. So that's the change. That's the kind of smartness that we need to bring in the tribal areas. So these are this slide talks about this picture shows the line sowing and gully method and broad bed method you have already seen in the previous slides. And the other important intervention is value addition. So in our area, along with the coffee, pepper is also grown. So when pepper is harvested, peppercorns are threshed by applying pressure using, on the with the foot on the floor. So it is very laborious process. So 3 persons are required to thresh 10 kg per day. That was the labor requirement to thresh the pepper. We introduced a pepper thresher with the support from the pepper spice board. That is also at a 75% subsidy. So this is the back-end subsidy. Farmer has to invest now initially, then he will get the water subsidy to his bank account once the thresher is supplied to the farmer for the seller. So the advantage of this is they can harvest 4 kilos per hour. You see the difference. 10 kilos by 3 persons a day, 4 kilos per hour. So then they own in a village. Not every farmer need not require go for this, purchase this. One farmer, a group of farmers can buy this. They can do for their own purpose. They can let it out to other farmers also. So this is a better way of threshing. And the last slide, last picture is about the cleaner. So the millets are grown a large extent in our tribal area. So, but millets being small grains, a lot of dirt and small stone also gets mixed up in the threshing yards. So this particular cleaner removes all the dirt, dust, and stones from the millets. So instead of selling the millets with all the dirt and other inert material and waste material, if they sell this, if they clean this and sell in the market, they'll get at least 2 rupees per kilo extra. So it makes their produce market ready. And this slide is about the boiling of the turmeric. The traditional method of boiling turmeric is in using an iron drum. They'll put water and put the turmeric in the drum and boil it for around 3 hours. Whereas we introduced the steam boiler. There are 3 compartments. Turmeric is put in the 3 compartments, not directly in the water. Water is poured in the box and it is covered with a iron lid. So within 1 hour, it gets cooked. So it gets steam cooked. So the cooking quality is much better, because in most of the area, even fetching water for boiling is also difficult. They have to fetch water from far away places. So this reduces the drudgery in fetching the water, reduces the consumption of the fuel wood. Almost 60 to 70% of the fuel wood can be reduced because it is a steam boil. And time of the boiling is very important. Instead of doing 100 kilos per day, they can go for 400 kilos per day. That's this is another smart way of value addition. And the quality of the cooking is also very good. So this is another, they go for the hand pounding in the tribal areas. So instead of hand pounding, pulverizes, they will reduce the drudgery on the women. So whatever we do, whatever farmer does, so he is in the hands of the mercy of the market. So that's the harsh reality nowadays. So in order to be smart in the market, you need to be smart. So traditionally, what they generally do is they sell in the local shandies using the traditional balances. So this is where the farmers get cheated. So from the FPOs, what we did was we have supplied around 20 digital weighing machines and moisture meters. So even when we sell the produce, if you sell at the proper moisture level, the price what we get for the produce is much better. So if you sell at a improper moisture level, not only the storage at the aggregation level get spoiled, product gets spoiled, but also we'll get the lesser price from the buyer. So we have provided digital moisture meters as well as the weighing machines. So this helped the farmers to properly weigh even before. Sometimes if they want to sell in the market, what we say is, okay, you can weigh the produce using the digital weighing machine and then only take it to the local chandi. Then you will clearly know whether you are getting the proper weight. Sir.
Dr. Kiran,
Yes, sir.
we are getting into time. Please, the other member also is waiting. Your CEO, so quickly,
Sure. I will.
quickly finish it. Okay.
So this is about the marketing. So in the last from 18, using with the help of the farmer producer organizations, we did around 3.7 crores of business, and we helped the farmers to achieve better price in the market. And the last one is about the credit services. As I said earlier, we promoted the mutually aided cooperative thrift society. It is giving the loans to the farmers also for buying the cattle, other machineries and all. So this way, by introducing smart interventions, these are the smart interventions. With these smart interventions,
Just to go to the previous slide.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have initiated a mutually aided cooperative thrift society, which is taking care of the loans, giving the loans to the farmers and members. So farmers can buy the cattle, plow bullocks, and machineries. It's like, for example, as I said earlier, threshing machine pepper. They got loans from the mats. They paid in advance. When they got the subsidy from the subsidized board, they repaid their loans. This is how we are trying to help the farmers. So that's with this kind of smart interventions. If you promote on a larger scale, we go for not only for green revolution, but we can go for the evergreen revolution, the tribal areas. Thank you for your patient listening, sir.
Thank you very much. And it is, and let us also add, not only smart intervention, we'll also have smart digital intervention in tribal farming. And that is that, smart tribal farming. I'm very happy that your both the presentation by Dr. Neeraja, madam, and you have provided the pathway or a way forward as to how we should go for smart tribal farming project in the cluster which we have identified. There are a lot of success stories. People like you, even though you put the title VIKASA is for development.
Correct.
And but why such models are not being picked up by government for replication in other tribal areas? I don't know what is the real problem with the government administration.
Yes.
And it is still as a project, and it is thriving over there. And if the NGO is not there, and in the project will never find another the light of the other area. And that's why with the technology now available, and you have done wonders. It is, even though even I would have got in another 1 hour, I would have asked you to speak. But it's a tremendous work which you have done it. Like the research work, Dr. Neeraja Pasupuleti is doing it, that developmental work which you are doing it. And, university like us, we would like to, as involved in the policy planning, policy preparations, along with the Doubling Farmers Income Committee report, and with my vast experience from 1985 onwards on bringing in digital technology in the district level. Today, the district collectorate in 764 districts, you have NIC centers. I was the project director for building up software on those days in 1987. 512 districts. The project is called District Information System of NIC. And then 95, I brought IT blueprint for agriculture. Even then, now when we had the digital technology in agriculture in the Doubling Farmers Income Committee report, when the government, even today, I have been talking to various people, conducting 200, by today, it is 113th webinar series in these editions. In this one, I do not know how many block level agriculture officers are watching it. They have technology in their office. And if they cannot watch, even in the block level, mandal level agriculture offices in Andhra Pradesh, no, they should have done it. It has been widely publicized. And we needed that lot of pilot projects, successful project. And if educational institutions, higher educational institution and NGOs join together, we can keep agriculture away from district administration. And district administration will come to the farmers rather than farmer going to the agriculture, district administration.
Correct, sir.
and and I'm very that's why with my vast experience I thought that let me using the let me have this webinar series. This technology is available, bring it out now. This webinar is now throughout the world. People can watch it, nobody can stop it. And I'm very happy, Dr. Kiran and Dr. Neeraja madam, that today we have done a wonderful job of making the whole world know that this place, this much work has been done. Why can't we replicate it? It has got a research component, it has got a development component, it has got an operational component, it has got an replication component. It is a complete capsule. And this itself should be recognized as a something like an Atma Center and KVK. You don't need a government officials to operate, as if it is available in Atma and KVK. When the Atma project was being visualized, the World Bank consultants were discussing. I was giving the responsibility as a Deputy Director General for working in IT and agriculture. I told the World Bank consultant, Dr. Seth was there, please put Atma in Atma. Please put Atma in Atma. Atma is Agriculture Technology Management Agency. Yes. But please put Atma inside. And till now, there is no Atma. And so it is, while I was listening to your talk, that why can't such type of NGO have been converted as a KVK and Atma?
True, sir.
And let the agriculture and this one as a lab for the agriculture colleges. Let the students work here for 1 year before they get the degree. Before they get the degree, let them go and work with the NGOs working in agriculture activities. Let them work over there and let the NGO give a credit.
Correct.
Let it be included in their degree. That's what we are trying to bring in agricultural informatics program, an MTech level, PG diploma, and so on and so forth. I'll be very happy to launch in collaboration with the Cluster University of Kurnool and VIKASA and the Soviet Institute of Engineering Technology to promote MTech in agricultural informatics, PG diploma in informatics, agriculture informatics, to make the land of agriculture opportunities of Andhra Pradesh into it is a digitalized agriculture system in Andhra Pradesh. No farmer, and we should make agriculture operation as a preferred destination for technology people to get into agriculture. And I'm very happy today. You have done wonders, and let us also hear from CEO who is waiting to be heard. Mr. Manish, can you connect him? Hello, Mr. Manish? Yes. We welcome Mr. Prasad, Nandi Devara Farmer Produce Organization, Araku. Can you put your video on?
Yes, sir, it's on.
No, but we are not able to see your video.
There is
right from the beginning, we are not visible in the video.
No, Mr. Manish? Mr. Manish, have you clicked video camera when you logged in?
So there is some issue from sir's side, sir, so that's why he's not able to present the camera.
Okay, fine. Please talk, Mr. Prasad. Yes.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity given to us. Actually, we are siblings of VIKASA. During the presentation of Dr. Kiran, he also mentioned about the how VIKASA increased the productivity and production in the tribal area. But after that, we are again thinking about who is getting more benefit out of that enhanced productivity and production. But whereas the middleman is getting more benefit from this overall work of VIKASA, then we are in a thinking that how can we distribute that benefit among the farmers again. Particularly when traders are coming into the area, they are cheated the farmers in payment. It is happening in everywhere in tribal areas, and it's not only in the Araku tribal area. It's common in other tribal areas also. and they are also not giving desired rates. They are getting more benefit and they are giving very less price to the farmers. After having discussion with the village development committees promoted in the tribal area with the leaders and all, with the support of NABARD, we initiated 2 farmer producer companies in the year 2016 September in tribal area in Araku Valley and Dumbriguda Mandals. There we discussed many times because this marketing is a new area to VIKASA. So that we have experience in how to develop agriculture, how to improve the productivity and production of the things, and how to involve more farmers into that area. But this market is a new area to us also. We also learned about this marketing and all from different agencies. And we also capacitated our team and farmers, farming leaders. Then we, after capacitating for 2 years, from 2016 to 2018, we are in capacity building stage only. After that, we initiated this marketing, slowly aggregating these farm products. Particularly, we started with millets because then we started with coffee and black pepper. From 2018 to 2021, now we are doing this business with non-perishable material only. We are not included these perishable materials like vegetables and fruits. We are in a planning to include those also, but we are doing this marketing with these things. Later, we slowly have in contact with the buyers, large-scale buyers in Bangalore, Delhi, and Chennai. After that, we are aggregating these millets pulses, turmeric, coffee, and black pepper. Now we can say we released these farmers from the clutches of the middlemen, improved their bargaining capacity, released from weighment loss. Earlier, who are the traders in the area, they cheated in weighment. We cannot understand what is the weight. Even the people who even educated people can also understand about their weighment in the shandies, weekly markets. Now FPO provided transportation. Now these villages, earlier the farmers are bring their produce to the weekly markets. Now these FPOs are going to the villages, and FPOs are also created some cluster level collection centers. Now the farmers are selling their produce at their doorstep sometimes, and they are selling their produce at the collection center close to their villages, so that the transportation and loss of produce is also minimized with this aspect. And VIKASA and the FPOs also working on convergence with the departments. Now, because these FPOs are also mobilized seed for like Rajma for 300 persons, turmeric for 250 farmers, barnyard millet for 100 farmers, turmeric poly. And VIKASA is also created, these FPOs also created some assets to the farmers. The one is turmeric polisher, black pepper grader, and black pepper threshers. 50 number of black pepper threshers. In his Dr. Kiran's presentation also, he showed how the black pepper thresher is bring down the drudgery of women in particular. These are all with the collaboration with the Spices Board and tarpaulins. Coffee drying yards, about 20 persons got the coffee drying yards, one collection center, cold, and a vehicle is also. These are all the assets created by the FPO for the these are for all these farmers. Earlier, these are not with the farmers. They are dependent on the middlemen, and they are selling their produce to the middlemen only. And now farmers are also getting timely payment. Timely payment and transparency is also there. Now, after starting this business in the year 2018, now in the 2021-22, the overall outlay is around 3.7 crores by these 2 FPOs. In this present year, this FPO aggregated Rajma around 10 tons, millets around 80 tons, rice around 10 tons, coffee, 60 tons of coffee is marketed in this during this season, and black pepper is 5 tons, turmeric is 5 tons. Now, a team of this farmer producer organization and the village development committee leaders are now involving in these purchase and marketing. Now the farmers are following benefits are get by the farmers. One is marketing at their doorsteps, desired price 5 to 10% above the local market rate. These FPOs are providing convergence and transparency on timely payment, financial support for inputs. These are the benefits now all these farmers are getting. And one thing I would, yeah, yeah.
It's very nice, Mr. Prasad, and it is heartening that a practical experience is being displayed today, and it is very nice that Mr. Prasad was brought, Dr. Kiran and Dr. Neeraja. It is in a higher educational institution and an NGO, and also Dr. Kiran brought lot of institution from them, from whom he has got a lot of support. He talked about Azim Premji Foundation, NABARD, and government agencies. It is basically the time has come with the technology. All the government schemes for a village has to be synergized. These are all silos.
Correct.
And today Mr. Prasad is telling, I'll be very nice that if a camera from your side is functioning, because we would like to see you, but I would like to have as a successful farmer produce organization, I will have a talk by you in the same webinar series, maybe 1 or 2 months from now. By that time, you please take care of your camera issue from your side. We would like to see your face. It's very nice. And it is very important. It is a successful farmer produce organization.
Correct.
And they should grow. And that's how development has to take place. And I'll be very happy because it's a time now. It is it exceeded 2 hours time. And it is Mr. Prasad. Thank you very much. And I will get back to you with a request to address this webinar series for about 1 hour 30 minutes. So I will request you to prepare at that time in association with Dr. Kiran, and if Dr. Neeraja Madam will be available, then she will give the concluding remarks after listening to Mr. Prasad in your presentation. But today is a wonderful day for me. Now, many of the pilot groups in various parts of the country are now sitting down to write the project proposal for smart tribal farming in a cluster of 10 to 15 village. And my request to Ms. Dr. Kiran and also Madam Dr. Neeraja, identify the village wherever you are worked on. And then
is over, sir. We have identified
30
villages.
Okay, and then let us sit from now onwards in the proforma. Let us prepare the project proposal, bringing all the success which you brought it, so that and then see to that that in the 10 to 15 cluster village, the cluster of 10 to 15 tribal villages, see to that if all the government scheme is funneled through an NGO, given responsibility to work on this developmental aspect with the strong, that monitoring and evaluation, that the today the direct benefit transfer to the account, it should go to the farm.
Correct.
Direct benefit, a food subsidy should go to the plant which gives food. If a plant has to grow more, the plant needs nutrient, so the subsidy should be given to the plant rather than giving to the farmer. And that's why the money should be completely utilized for the nutrient to be utilized by the plant.
Correct.
And I'm very happy that today we are able to bring it out. I am very happy that Center for Agricultural Informatics and E-Government Research Studies, Center for Agribusiness and Disaster Management Studies, these are all the first 2 centers in the university, National Institute of Information, National Shobhit Institute of Engineering and Technology deemed to be university is the first private university to have such type two centers of excellence to work for technology for rural India in agricultural industries and health area. 5 centers of excellence. But for this webinar, it's being organized by these 2 centers. It launched MTech in Agricultural Informatics to train engineering students, non-engineering postgraduate students, and agricultural science students to get into agriculture through technology. So that today we have 14.5 crores operational holders, 1.45 lakh tribal villages, and we have to convert all the people who would like to work in tribal agriculture. They would like to be given technology to work on tribal agriculture. We have only one Krishi Vigyan Kendra, one Atma Center, and totally 450 agriculture colleges for India, and one Krishi Vigyan Kendra for each district, and 100 ICR institution. It is not enough. All 4,500 engineering colleges who teach computer science and who teach basic sciences, and 1,500 deemed to be university who teaches computer science and teaches basic science. They have to adopt agriculture. India is an agrarian economy. They have to do research on a priority basis for agriculture. And then only that, this our Indian agriculture has 365 days of sunshine, heavy rainfall, much better than Israel. And it goes without our permission either to Bay of Bengal or Arabian Sea. And when there is no rain, then we fight among each state. And then, you have 450 agriculture commodities, and we have to have a digitalized agriculture, resources information to understand what is to grow where, how not, what not, why not, where not. Today it is possible, and every engineering college can draw drone applications in area to bring in high resolution graphics to understand. And then every tribal should be having a digital health locket to take care of their health aspect.
Yeah.
And sustainable agriculture is, that it is tribal agriculture is a sustainable agriculture. And this is why I thought that since our Honorable President is from the tribal community, from the Shobhit Institute of Engineering Technology, let us take steps to adopt, operationalization of digital recommendations as suggested in digital technology in agriculture of Dr. Ashok Dalwai committee report on doubling farmers' income, and also identify a cluster of 10 to 15 tribal villages starting from Kanyakumari to Kashmir and northeast to west coast Africa, west coast, identify tribal villages and make it as a model villages. Given the Minister of Tribal Ministry has got 1,45,000 tribal villages to be model, but we will make it smart model villages, smart agriculture, smart tribal farming, and we make all the tribal agriculture, have a globalized agriculture value chain with the value addition. And you are given 6 areas for smart farming, and we should adopt all this input should get into the project coordinators who are all trying to prepare the project proposal within another 2 months for presentation to the Minister of Tribal Affairs. So thank you very much. Before I close, I would like to have 1 or 2 remarks from Dr. Kiran, Dr. Neeraja Madam, and Mr. Prasad. Start with Dr. Kiran.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for the elaborate discussion that we had today. It's a really good opportunity, and I'm sure when we are ready to take up the challenge, sir. We are take up the initiative, and if there, in fact, we are getting some interns from not only India, even from Canada also. We are getting some interns these days. So I'm sure we'll definitely play a bigger role, larger role in the days to come. We'll try.
We will sign an MOU between university and your NGO. Let us sign an MOU. You bring the rural people, tribal, educated people to get into MTech in agricultural informatics.
Definitely,
let us,
sir.
we need to have one agri-tech startup in every Gram Panchayat. Madam Ji.
Thank you, sir.
Sir,
Yeah,
Moral
please.
concern. The first with Nallamala Chenchos, my observation is that they don't know anything about the farming, and we have to teach them how to do the farming. But in the case of Araku, these people, they have been trained since 1898. But the conditions, if you consider as an ethnobotanist, the Chenchos lies and these Bodos, Gadavas, and these they are lying in one point only, no progress so far. And the second thing is they know how to do agriculture, they are a part of the nature, but the facilities and the commitment and I don't know, the climatic conditions as well as the topography, then the nature's bounty, all are. So in that direction, we should take a step forward, and we should do something, and we should formulate a new formula. So see, the coffee of Araku got the recognition because of the British commitment. And since then, no, nothing. Indigenous varieties are there. Indigenous rice varieties are there. And even the black turmeric, many medicinal plants. I have forgotten to inform you about the Centella asiatica, a medicinal plant, which is a memory booster. And from that area, Araku area, because springs and all, they are unpolluted from that. In the natural springs only, this plant rises. And the Cinderella should be geotagged and medicinal potential should be tapped. Then only the progress we can see. So in terms of the geography, in terms of the infrastructure, we should take a very intelligent strategy to see the light in their, to bring the light in their lives, sir. That's my
Very nice.
deep concern.
Thank you, madam.
Deep concern for them.
It's
Medicinal
very nice
as well
that
as commercial, medicinal, and these agricultural products like rice should be geotagged. That's my aim from my laboratory, from my cluster
let us
university.
prepare an action plan based on this discussion, Mr. Dr. Kiran and Madam Dr. Neeraja ji. Let us prepare an action plan so that in the pilot project, let us make it. The pilot project, we will achieve it. Thank you. Mr. Prasad, over to you for one line. Final remark.
There is a lot of potential as well as issues in the tribal area in when we see in the perspective of tribal agriculture. When we see coffee, rajma are the more commercial crops available in the area, and there are more potential area for when we see the potential area in the tribal area. And when we see the topography, sometimes we are saying it is an issue. Sometimes actually it is a potential for draw the water through gravity without using any power, diesel or something else. It's an eco-friendly system. That is also one area where we can develop these systems anywhere in India, particularly in tribal areas. When we see Chhattisgarh, Orissa, wherever, because of this topography, we can use this elevation difference as an advantage to draw the water to the fields. There are many potential areas, particularly during a survey we are conducted in the area, we identified around 10 such type of resources in the area. That is one area. As far as FPO is concerned, there are requirements like storage units, cold storage, transportation facility. These are the requirements of even preliminary processing units. Even that may not be secondary processing units. Even preliminary processing units that will increase the price of the tribal farmers produce.
We will consider in the pilot project. In the pilot project, what all the constraints and the needs which you would like, you have addressed it. Let Dr. Kiran and Madam Neeraja ji bring it in the cluster of this pilot project. It's very important. This was not achieved. This is to be achieved in this one. So it will be an add-on. It is an add-on facility that. So thank you very much, Prasad. And you are operating only in Andhra Pradesh or in outside Andhra Pradesh also? Dr.
As
Kiran?
of now, we are in AP only, in 4 districts.
Okay.
Kiran garu, మీరు మ్యూట్ చేశారు. కిరణ్ గారు, మీరు మ్యూట్ లో ఉన్నారు.
We are working only in 4 districts. Like yesterday it was Vishakaptinam. Now has been trifurcated.
Okay, now we'll make this as this pilot project so successful, and let us be for a period for 3 years and 2 years an operational wind up, so that there will be a replicatable model.
Definitely, sir.
And let us make that maybe in another 1 month time, our project proposal should be ready with
Sure.
all components. Okay,
Sure.
so thank you very much. With this,
Thank you.
I would like to thank Dr.
Thank you,
Kiran, Madam Dr. Neeraja Pasupuleti, and Mr. Prasad. Thank you very much for joining today and make the webinar series so credible, so successful, and it's being wanted by many people. Let it motivate the rural boys and girls to become startups by listening to today's webinar series in the area in which you are operating. Thank you very much. Please bring rural students who are engineers and non-engineering postgraduate students to get into MTech in agricultural informatics. Let us make rural India to shine, smile, and roar.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. With you, with your permission, let us close the webinar today. And I would like to thank our Honorable Chancellor, Honorable Vice Chancellor, and faculty members, and the guest speaker, and the CEO of Nandi Devara Farmer Produce Organization, and also participants, who are joining today in this webinar series. Thank you very much. Thank you. We'll close the webinar. Thank you.